I remember the naive excitement we felt that day, fueled by the thrill of newfound independence. It was me, Anna, and my best friend since grade school, Jess. We were both 22, fresh out of college, and bursting at the seams to start our real adult lives. We'd managed to snag what we thought was the ideal first apartment, quaint, slightly quirky, and smack dab in the middle of a buzzing part of the city with rents that didn't completely annihilate our meager starter paychecks. Can you believe this, Anna? Our own place. No more RAs, no more sneaking around residence rules. Jess had twirled around the living room when we first moved in, her laughter echoing off the bare walls, making the space feel instantly warmer. Yeah, it's almost too good, I'd replied, a slight unease tickling the back of my mind as I surveyed the peeling wallpaper and the musty scent that seemed embedded in the very foundation of the building. We spent our first weekend there painting over the bland, washed-out walls with vibrant colors, hanging up string lights, and transforming the place into something that felt like ours. But as the sun dipped below the horizon that Sunday evening, a different atmosphere crept in, a chill that seemed to seep through the freshly painted walls. It started with small, dismissible things. A flicker of lights here, a sudden breeze there. Old building quirks, Jess joked one evening as we sat curled up with mugs of tea, trying to ignore the way our candles flickered despite the absence of any draft. But as days turned into weeks, the occurrences grew harder to laugh off. We would come home to find items not where we'd left them, doors we had closed were wide open, and the TV would turn on by itself in the dead of night. All right, this is getting freaky, Jess. Did you leave the bathroom light on this morning? I asked one morning, finding it lit despite knowing Jess's steadfast rule of turning off every switch before heading out. No way, I swear I turned off everything today, same as every day. Jess replied, her voice tinged with confusion and a trace of fear. The breaking point came about a month after we moved in. It was a stormy night, the kind where the rain seems to speak in crashing whispers against the window panes. Jess and I were mid-movie marathon, our living room scattered with the comforting debris of snack wrappers and blankets. Suddenly, the lights went out, plunging us into pitch darkness with only the violent flashes of lightning piercing through the windows. Jess's hand gripped mine, her nails digging in slightly. It's just the storm, right? Her voice a rough whisper next to me. Before I could answer, a loud crash from the kitchen made us both jump up. Heart pounding, phone flashlight in hand, we inched towards the kitchen. The fridge door was wide open, its contents spilled out across the floor, a chaos we hadn't caused. Okay, we need someone to check this place out. This is not bloody normal, Jess breathed out, trying to sound tough, but her voice shook just enough to betray her terror. We ended up calling a local paranormal investigation team, half out of real concern, and half because what else do you do when your first grown-up apartment seems to be playing out every haunted house stereotype? After an evening filled with EVP recorders, temperature sensors, and enough creeping about our own home to last a lifetime, the team concluded with unsettling confidence. Our quaint, quirky first apartment was indeed haunted, likely by a former tenant with unfinished business. Jess and I spent that night camped out in the coffee shop down the street, poring over online listings for new apartments. As much as we loved our independence, neither of us were keen on sharing a two-bedroom with an unseen third roommate. Looking back, I guess it was a hell of an initiation into adult life. We learned about leases, living costs, and yes, a bit about the supernatural. But mostly, we learned that no matter how sweet the deal looks on paper, some quirks are not worth the hassle.
Hey there, I'm Tim. For over 30 years, I've been chasing the kind of mysteries that make your skin crawl and your spine tingle. Yeah, I'm that guy, a paranormal investigator, hunting ghosts and all sorts of ungodly creatures lurking in the shadows. I've seen stuff that would turn your hair white. So, buckle up and get ready, because I'm about to spill one hell of a creepy tale. This one, my friends, is a real doozy. It was a crappy Tuesday when Joey called me up, his voice crackling over a bad reception that made it sound like he was shouting from the bottom of a well. "Tim, I need you over here, man. This place is messing with me, big time," he said, a panic edging his words that I'm not used to hearing from him. Joey and I go way back to the days when our toughest decisions were which cheap beer to buy and which girls to shoot the shit with. A lifetime later, and here he was, scared out of his wits because his new apartment in downtown Detroit was turning into what sounded like a scene straight out of a horror flick. So I grabbed my kit, EMF reader, digital recorder, a couple of cameras, and a flask of rum for good measure, hopped into my beat-up Chevy, and gunned it across town to his place. Detroit has its charms, but Joey's new pad in some rundown tenement wasn't one of them. Even in daylight, that building looked like trouble. I found him twitching like a cat in a rainstorm, standing outside the apartment door. "This place is haunted, dude. It's like Poltergeist meets Detroit," Joey blurted out, as I stepped out of the elevator. We went inside, and the place was a classic Joey style, minimal furniture, walls plastered with vintage rock posters, and pizza boxes used as an excuse for a dining table. But beneath the bachelor mess, something was off. The air felt heavy, like walking into a swamp. I set up my gear and tried to keep the mood light. "So, what? Your ghost doesn't like your decorating style?" I joked, popping open my flask for a quick swig. But Joey wasn't having it. "No, man. I hear things at night, see shadows moving. It's freaking me out, bro." As night fell, we settled down in the living room, my cameras pointed at the spots Joey said were the most active. Hours ticked by, the tension slowly turning into boredom, until a sudden cold snap chilled the room. "Damn, it's like the heater just died," I muttered, reaching for my EMF reader. Right then, a shadow darted across the wall. Not the flicker from the street lamp kind of shadow, this was dense, dark, and deliberate. "Did you see that?" Joey whispered, sound cracking high like when we were teens and his voice was still changing. The EMF reader buzzed like a mad bee, then flatlined as quickly as it spiked. Silence swallowed the room, but it felt like we were in a crowded place, unseen eyes watching us. Cold prickled at my neck, and I knew we weren't alone. "Okay, you bastard," I said out loud, more to steel my nerves than anything else. "We're not leaving until you show your face." The apartment creaked, and a low groan filled the air, vibrating under our feet and around the walls. The digital recorder picked up an eerie, drawn-out sigh, then a faint, mocking laughter. It was the kind of laugh that made your skin crawl, and your heart haul ass to your throat. Joey and I looked at each other, the same thought clear in our eyes. This was real, and it was more than we bargained for. Breaking the paralysis, I grabbed the sage I always brought along, call it a cliché, but damn if it doesn't work sometimes. I lit it, the smoke filling the room, wafting around like it was being guided by unseen hands. The temperature started to climb back to normal, the oppressive feeling lifting slightly. "We need to cleanse the whole damn place, Joey. This ain't just some restless spirit, this is something old, something angry," I said, as authoritative as I could manage. Hours later, after salt lines, more sage, and every cleansing ritual I knew, the apartment felt lighter, the early morning sun lending its own cleanse. Joey slumped against the wall, a mixture of relief and exhaustion etching his face. "Thanks, Tim." I owe you one, he mumbled, his voice hoarse from stress and lack of sleep. I clapped him on the back. Grab a beer, take a nap, and think about moving. Detroit's got nicer places for sure. As I drove away, the rising sun lighting up the dirty streets, I couldn't shake the feeling that we'd only put a band-aid on a bullet wound. In my line of work, some things don't like to be disturbed, and they sure as hell remember you. So, there I was, chilling at home on a stormy Thursday night. Just me, my snacks, and some trashy TV. You gotta understand, my place is one of those old-as-dirt buildings with creaky floors and windows that rattle when the wind blows even a little. Sets the mood right for what's coming, right? Out of nowhere, the TV starts glitching like crazy. I'm talking full-on poltergeist vibes with all the static and flickering. Crap, I muttered, giving the TV a good smack. Usually does the trick, but not tonight. Tonight, it just hissed back at me, like some aggro alley cat. I shrugged it off, grabbing a throw blanket. I needed to get cozy if I was diving into another episode. Then, no joke, the air got freaking icy. Damn drafty windows, I thought, except this time it felt like someone had left the freezer open. Just as I'm about to sort that out, I hear it. A soft, whiny call from nowhere and everywhere, like a whisper right against my ear. Hell no, I muttered, scooting up off the couch, eyes scanning the dim room. I ain't afraid of no ghost, but I wasn't looking to chat with one either. Thinking I may be losing it, I head to the kitchen, needing something stronger than soda. And there, on the foggy window, words start appearing. Not like a cute note or anything. More like a get-out kind of message, big old letters running down with condensation. I'm caught between bolting and laughing because, come on, how cliché, right? But there's a clatter behind me, like someone's dumped all my silverware. It's loud and real freaking clear. I spin around, and every single drawer's wide open. Oh, come on! I yell, seriously pissed now. 'Cause it's not just creepy, it's annoying. Who's gonna clean this up, huh? Right as I'm about to yell some more, something shifts in my peripheral, like a shadow or a curtain, but sneakier. I squint my eyes, trying to see without actually seeing, you know? Then, clear as day, I hear my name. A whisper, scratchy and sad like old vinyl. The voice knew me. All right, game time. I stump back into the living room, ready to confront whatever Casper crap this is. And there, right on my cozy couch, is a faint outline. It's chillin' like it pays rent, one leg over the other, bold as you please. Right, so you're gonna explain this mess or what? I demand, though my voice shakes more than I want. Ghost or not, my mama didn't raise no wuss. It chuckles, a dry, leaf-on-the-wind sound. Then, slowly, it gets clearer. An old man, grizzled, with eyes like tired moons. Sorry about the spoons, he says, and his voice is like gravel mixed with honey. Needed to get your attention somehow. We talked. Turns out, he used to live here, decades ago. Had his life, loves, and losses in these walls. Just wanted someone to remember him. Guess my TV show wasn't enough company. We chat about the house, shared frustrations with the plumbing. It's a real conversation. Finally, he's done, just vanishes, but the room's warmer. I chuck everything back in the drawers, fix myself that drink, and turn the TV back on. Static's gone. And yeah, I ain't alone here. This old place has memories, and sometimes they need to chat. Just wish they'd do it without trashing my kitchen, you know?